and it's probably going to take a few minutes for people to drop in. I just have to get my camera set up anyway, so that's fine. I'll do a proper intro once I see someone here, or if no one's here after a while, I'll just do one anyway. So let me mount the tripod here. Since I didn't pre-announce this, I doubt many people are going to show up during the first little while, if anyone. Oh, we got someone. I'm pulling up chat right now. I'm getting things set up. Oh, hello, I see on my phone screen, but I need to actually pull up on my laptop here. Hang tight here for a second. Apple's Anonymous. Hello. I have my ThinkPad out. This is my first time doing a board repair stream. We're gonna see how this goes. Yes, it is you. Oh. Luke Davis too. Oh yeah, so about jailbreaking videos, I'm not as interested in making them anymore. That's not to say I won't ever make more, but I'm not sure when that'll be, because I just haven't been as motivated lately. Alright, so now that we have a few people who've dropped in, let me first clear a spot for my laptop to sit on my workbench, but I can talk about what I'm actually doing today. Okay. Now I can see chat. So, oh, and I can see myself. I should pause this. Alright, so this right here is the motherboard out of my CTX EzBook 800, and this did not pause. Okay, there we go. So, if you saw my video from a couple months ago, it got hit by a Varda battery, and then later on, what I don't think I've shown on my channel is the connector that got damaged fell right off. So this right now has no connector, and you'll see some bad pads. So this is going to be an adventure. We have to see if I can bodge those pads and get this connector back on. So I did buy some magnet wire, which I have somewhere. And it's already stringing all off, but I bought this thin magnet wire to make my bodges with. And I also, well no, that's the only thing I bought for this, but I removed the PCMCIA cage. Oh yeah, they did. They made a few laptops. I don't know if they sold them in anywhere else than the US, but they made a number of them back in the 90s, and then it seems, the only thing I can guess about what happened is, for whatever reason, they could not keep up with processor speeds, because I looked and they just never seemed to be able to make it past Pentium MMX, and so like no one was buying that in like 1999. This is even late for a system that can't take Pentium 2s. This is 98 right here, the 800 series. Although this one has an AMD K6 II in it, which is, I think, similar spec. But, yeah, so they thought it would be a brilliant idea in 1998 to put a Varda barrel battery right soldered to the board there, which was lovely. So I have the actual connector that got damaged right here. And if I hold it up here and try to get it to focus, you'll see there's some green corrosion, and also the solder pads that came off are still stuck on. So I need to clean this up before we put it back on. But it's gonna go in like this. Well, Yeah, there's a couple little guides, pokey hole things that it will fit in, but what this goes to is there's a big long interconnecting board that goes over top of this. It plugs in here and over here. And this part of it fell off and it won't start, obviously, because that's where display plugs into. That's where that's where speakers plug into, and who knows what else travels between these 2 points on the board. Who knows what other signals. It wouldn't even post before. So clearly some important data goes through that. So, well, actually, maybe it did still post. Well, no, the CPU didn't really get warm, so it wasn't posting. But if it was, I wouldn't be able to know because I would have had no screen and no video. And the LEDs are all on that board too. So, oh, well, yeah, I'm sure CTX wasn't expecting people to use these 20 years in the future, but all things considered, the worst I've got is a connector that fell off and a couple broken traces. Now, if we turn over the board to the back, you'll see this chip here, this Texas Instruments chip. And if you look close, you'll actually see there's some corrosion on it that traveled through this solder joint here. And thankfully nothing else. I think it was just from through the through-hole solder joint. I don't think it went through the middle layers of the board. But there are some broken legs on this chip. So that is never going to work again. But it's okay, because that is the PCMCIA controller chip, and it would have been broken like that before. So, I mean, and the few broken traces that are here are for the PCMCIA. So I'm not even going to bother fixing these traces that are broken, because with this chip being bad, PCMCIA is never going to work on this anyway. But it's okay, because another thing, if you didn't see my swap meet video, this computer worked when I got it. It was after I took it apart to check for one of these batteries that I saw the damage, cleaned it up, and then that corrosion that was there was holding things together just enough for the connections to work, and removing it caused the solder joints on this connector, I think, to become weak and break. So I think that's what actually did it in. So if I can get this connector properly resoldered, we can begin here. Now, I believe right now it is my time, 8:25. Yes, I've got until about 10 tonight, and then I gotta go to sleep. So we're probably not gonna finish this tonight, but I will probably be live again tomorrow in the event that we don't, or in the event that nothing goes horribly wrong this stream. So this is gonna be a shorter stream, but that's fine. I know the people doing it on iPhone boards are nuts. I wanna learn how to do that sort of thing too. I mean, not really iPhone boards, because that doesn't interest me as much. What I'm most interested in doing is BGA rework stuff, because, man, do you know how many of those lead-free solder early days period laptops I could buy, reball, fix the chips that have come cracked off the board, and then resell or just use? Like, when my 900 megahertz iBook dies due to the graphics failure that those get because of that, I want to be able to fix it, but I'd need a bit more equipment for that, I think. But I don't think it's too terribly difficult if you have the equipment. So anyway, we've been talking for long enough. Step 1 here is, you notice how I have to solder this whole line of pins here, and also notice how this serial port is just right in the way. So we need to remove the serial port. I took a quick crack at it last night and got a few of the pins free, but I didn't finish the job. So I already got my desoldering iron here, and we're gonna fire it up and see if we can even get it off tonight, because these things can either go off with little trouble or be a massive pain. So that's going to be interesting to see how this goes. Also, I need some better light. My overhead lights are dying. I need to replace the tubes in them. How's this? I mean, it'll certainly let me see how things are. And what I can tell is the two upper left and upper rightmost pins here are not undone, but the rest might be. It's hard to tell. Also, my nose is running like crazy and has been ever since I had a cold 2 weeks ago. But for some reason, I don't have a public Discord Velocity. Not currently. Nothing could work with ThinkPad. Yeah. My T40 is dying, yeah. It had a bunch of graphical artifacts. Sometimes it doesn't post, other times it works fine. The one I'm worried about more, though, is my T43. It works perfectly right now. It's showing no signs of issues. But the south bridges run really hot on those and just have problems. Flip chip GPU failures are unrepairable. I know some of the Nvidias had an issue with like the underfill. I know that, and when that happens, there's nothing you can do. But they made fixed revision ones of those, so on those you can just replace the chip, and then it'll be fine. You can find a fixed revision chip. Also, I might be a little muffled now. It occurred to me I'm soldering here. I'm gonna wear a mask and turn my fan on as well. And because what I'd normally do is I'd use my phone flashlight to have a constant light view on this, but I didn't think it had, and I didn't charge another phone. So I'm using this comedically large flashlight to inspect my work after I'm done. It's really hard to tell if I actually got this free, but the ones I have to worry about are these two big support pins. What I can do is I can hold my light like this, and unfortunately I don't have a fancy microscope like Mac 84. But I can try to suck up all this solder here anyway. Well, those two clauses of that sentence have no relation. The first one was that I'm not going to have the best camera view because of that. It's hard to... Getting these free is going to be tough. I mean, they mostly are. They're just, like, pressed up against the sides. The thing about these is none of these are meant to be taken back off. Did the 831s have NVIDIA graphics? I didn't think the ThinkPads used NVIDIA graphics till the T61s, and of course those fail too. Of course. Why would they not? But my T61's an Intel, so it's fine. I'm just trying to push these out of the way. I'd love to use flux, but they can gum up these desolder lines. Okay, well, I got this for my Pentium 4 boards. It does come in handy. Trying to get this stupid thing to cooperate. We could be here all night just trying to get the serial port off, but we have to do this. Now, quick test here. I don't think it's going to be able to come off just from that. Re-recap. What happened the first time? Trying right now to tell what is the status of this is. Most of the smaller pins are definitely free, but the rest aren't. I'm gonna go for this one again. What's my key at? It's at 3. I don't want to have to turn it up to 4. The problem with using the solder sucker too much on one pin is that it can make the solder mask get ripped up around it. I have to say, this sort of part about doing this is not fun. Having to get one port off to do the thing I actually want to do is frustrating, but kind of have to. I do have solder wick. I might try that next. I've found it just doesn't work great with through-hole joints, though, on thick boards like this. I mean, this is a proper big laptop motherboard. Like, this is the biggest laptop motherboard I've ever seen. I'm also curious. I'm checking what GPU the A31s have. My guess is that they'd have the Radeon 7500, just like the others. Just think wiki not say. A31P? Yeah, Mobility Fire GL, ATI Mobility Fire GL 7800 on the A31P. And the ATI Mobility Radeon 7500 on the A31. Yeah, the Radeon 7500s fail on all the laptops that have them, pretty much. I don't think all of them, but the thing is, they were like early days of lead-free solder, and also were not technically required to be actively cooled, so basically no one actively cooled them. And because of that, while they could technically run not actively cooled, long term it was just not good for them. I mean, the Latitude C640 has one. I don't think those fail nearly as much because I think they actually put a cooler on. And I'm sorry, I don't even mean not actively cool. I mean they wouldn't put a heatsink on them at all. They just put the bare chip. Like, I mean, here's the graphics chip on this one, the Neo Magic, but this one doesn't actually. This is a dumb graphics chip. It's not even 3D accelerated. Alright, so for this one now, I'm going to get out my iron, because the Hacko did good work, but we need to pick things up a bit here. Which means clearing a bunch of stuff out of the way again. And, hello, Luke. Other Luke. Oh no, there's 2 Lukes now. At least you both have something other than Luke in your name. Welcome. Alright, so now I have to figure out where I'm putting this. This is probably not the ideal spot. Those can be repaired easily. Like the ATIs that have solder joint problems. I think those, yeah, can be repaired pretty easily. Well, easily, in quotes. They could be reballed and that'll fix them. But I couldn't even reball one of those. I mean, you can get away with just a regular reflow, but you're getting away with that. It probably won't last. I got the thin tip on here. I need to get the thick tip. And you asked how the repair's going. It could be better. I'm currently trying to get the serial port off, and I need to get it off because I need clearance to get to one side of the pins of the connector that fell off. So that's where I'm at, and the serial port coming off is a pain. Neomagic, yeah, Neomagic was everywhere for like 2 years. Huh, some of them don't have fans on the C600s. Yeah, the Neomagic is, I have found it in, obviously, the CTX. I found it in my CPI, both my CPIs, the A series and the D series. They have two separate types, but they're both Neomagics. My CS has one. My IBM ThinkPad 3D5XD has one. I've seen a whole ton on eBay that have them. They're like everywhere for like 2 years and then they disappear. The Dell Latitude LM had one, I know that too. Which means the Winbook LM, which was the same exact laptop, also had one. Alright. Let's see if we can get a better zoom on this. We are working right here. Now we just gotta wait for my iron to heat up. And I will try to use the wick and some flux. I'm very low on wick though. I need to go and order some more. I should have enough to get me through. Split the CPU fan header. Okay. Yeah, as long as it outputs enough current, then that should be alright, I think, anyway. I mean, if they're the same voltage fans on both, I don't know if that would be the case. I think the GPU in my C610 is actively cooled. I don't think the GPU fan comes on much, though. You have to work one pretty hard to even get the CPU fan to come on. It just will be completely silent at idle. They had to beef things up a little bit for the C640, which was Pentium 4 based. I have one of those, and it definitely, that's the one that had the Radeon in it, 7500. The C600 had the M3, like we said. The C610 had an M6, which I think is Radeon 7000 based, and then the C640 had the 7500. I've run in the 7500 is one of the most common GPU chips I've seen, other than this Neomagic. I mean, just personally, there's one in my T30, T40, which is failing. My iBook G3 900 megahertz, the Latitude C640 has one. I had a compact Evo N610C that I sold that had one. Those things were all over the place and everywhere. Alright, let's test here if my iron's warm. No, I'm just waiting for my iron to heat up. I can't work yet. Okay. It's probably not a good idea to have my solder wrapped around the cord for my iron. There we go. Sorry about all the sniffling, guys. Is my iron warm? Oh, come on. Now this is stuck on something. The WD-40, I should move that too. I should also check my phone's battery. It was low before I started this. We got 14%, hopefully. Oh, and now it's all falling apart. I think Pat's about to die. Gotta plug it in. Goodness. You got sick after the walk? The annoying thing isn't that my nose keeps running. It's that I got over the cold like 2 weeks ago, and it's still running. The rest of the cold's gone. It's been gone. It only lasted a few days. There's too much stuff on this desk. Okay, now we're actually ready to begin, and the iron should be plenty warm. Oh yeah, there we go. Time to put the mask back on, which warms up my nose, which makes it run more. So what I need to see here is what solder is actually left. And there is some. First attempt, just solder width. I think most of that's coming off my iron. The thing about this is I don't know if these are tensioned on or anything. If they are, then that could make removing them a huge pain. This is the problem with desoldering gray. It really doesn't work great when their joints this small. What I think I'm going to do is I'm actually going to, this can help, I'm going to apply new solder to the stubborn joints. Okay, and now I'm going to use the desoldering pump again. So I'm going to warm it up, and then sometimes that reattempting can help clear it out. I know this isn't focused super well. The YouTube camera app doesn't have a lot of the enhancements the iPhone's is. I can't really make it focus manually. That. The iron has something weird on it. There's some sort of gunky stuff. Huh. Whatever it is it going to come off on desoldering grade? weird. Whatever it is also came onto the board a bit, so I'm gonna go and clean that. Oh. Huh. Whatever it is does not want to come off. It's almost like flux, but I don't think it is. Well, this is definitely warm by now. Can't tell. Can't tell. Big joint. I might have made it worse. I'm gonna up the heat setting. It's also still solid on. It might not actually be heated up yet, although it's usually quick to heat. It's not melting this. Did I make things worse for myself? Yeah, I preheated these for sure. This isn't even corroded. This is past the area where the battery hit. The problem here is that I think this is on a giant ground plane, which I just hate, but yeah. That means specs now, of course. Yeah, I can't use flux with the pump. It'll get it clogged. I definitely made things worse for myself by resoldering this right one. That one might be clear now. One of these might have cleared. One of these definitely, two of them at least definitely have them. Well, I'm giving up on the Hacko for now. I'm turning it off. Well, no. First, I'm going to give another crack on this joint here, which has been the most annoying one so far. It's the only one of these small ones that hasn't had a clear. And now it has. There we go. That one's clear now. I need my flux. Can't find the stick. Oh, there it is. Into a PS4 and a stupid chandelier. Well, normally on capacitors that do this, there's two legs. I can rock them out by heating up each and then pulling up. But this is 9 small pins, and then 2 big stabilizing ones. I'm almost out of flux here. I'm gonna have to get out my other tube. Alright, now that I think all of the mini ones are clear, I'm gonna take another look. Oh, it's hard to tell. One of them might not be. I mean, now this stuff's melting so easily with the flux. What would help is if I had like low melt solder, but I don't. Because then I could mix it in and that would make things a little easier. If you think this is the hard part, we don't have to solder a 30 gauge magnet wire yet. That's going to be fun. Oh yeah, that works well. Those are looking good now. I'll be right back. I gotta go grab a towel. Alright, let's see what progress that made. I mean, it looks a little better. I still don't think either of these are free, though. I'm gonna take this off camera real quick to try to just see if it's loose at all. Oh man, it is just not moving at all. One of these through holes definitely still isn't clear, too. But God, these big old two-piece things on either side are just such a pain. I've never dealt with these before. I'm even trying to like break them free by trying to pinch in with these guys. I mean, oh, maybe that works. Maybe that works. I bet those. If that breaks their connection with the board, then that might help. Let's see what it's looking like now. Again, I have to look closely off camera. Oh. We might have them free. Well, at least partially on one. The connector still doesn't want to budge. I'm going to heat back up my desoldering pump again and go at this one last one of the small ones that I haven't gotten yet. It's the one on the top right. Yeah, and it is going slowly. I was fully expecting this. That's why I took an initial crack at this last night, because I thought an entire stream of getting one connector off wouldn't be that fun. And well, I don't think it is, but if you want to watch. By the end of this, though, I will have a testing moment. Okay, that's free. This isn't. At this point, though, I don't care if one of these gets broken free, because these are just the support pieces. They don't have to. And I'm never going to really use the serial port in this either. Alright, so all that, and we got one of these four big ones loose. Which explains why it's not really wobbling yet. We got one of four loose. And there's two on each side. So that's where we're at there. Let's take another crack at the ones on this side. Smoke's a good sign, and that means it's doing something. Starting to dislike the design of this unit, which is uncommon for me. You mean this CTX laptop? Well, they put a Varda death bomb right on the board, so I don't really like the design of this thing either in that regard. But when working, here, I'll give it some praise. Reasons to appreciate it and like it. It's a 1998 laptop with 2 USB ports, which is uncommon. It has composite in and out, so it can conceivably do video capture. In addition to that, it's got about every other chip you could want. I mean, every other port you could want in it too. Versatile CPU support, active matrix color screen, and overall, besides that battery, no major things that make it a pain to use. So that's why I want to get it running. because it doesn't actually sting. It's a decent cromulent laptop. Oh yeah, it's totally feature-rich. There we go, that one's free by force. I gotta bend it back in shape a bit. That's 2 things free of the 4. I also think, and I haven't been able to confirm this, but I also haven't been able to non-confirm this, but I think CTX actually made this thing in-house, which is pretty uncommon for smaller laptop manufacturers in the 90s, but they are based in Taiwan. Is that one free now? Yeah, I think so. We might be getting close. Let's inspect if it's able to be moved back and forth at all now. It's persistent. Yeah, I know. The solder mask has been ripped up by the pump a bit. And I've done that before. My PowerBook 150, when I was recapping its inverter board, when I was using the solder sucker on one of the pads, I didn't even go ham it with it or anything. It came clean really easily with one big go. But it ripped the pad partially. And I bodged it, and it was fine. And it works. Made a little tiny wire bodge. But yeah, it's definitely a concern. I care more about the laptop working than the serial port, though. If the serial port works, great, but I currently do not use the serial port on any of my laptops. I use parallel for file transfer, but not serial, so... These ones I'm really ripping away at, though, these are support only. They don't actually go anywhere. They're structural. Apple's pads suck, full stop. I care what board instruction they use, but they're terrible. I do all PowerBook boards for peace of mind. I haven't had really too many issues. I've never broken a solder pad, surface mount solder pad. I twist all my caps off. Some people say that'll really screw me up. The PowerBook, if anything, I'd blame Acer for the PowerBook 150 because they actually manufactured the 150 for Apple. The 150 is a weird machine. Oh yeah, there we go. Come on, just need this one now. Please. Pull out. No, it does not. $145 B display. That was the first thing I really recapped. Surface mount that I recapped. It was mine was just a 145, not a B, but same difference. Same LCD. My soldering looks awful on that thing, but it works, so I don't mind too much. That's free. I think these are all free. Which is why it's concerning that this does not want to go and come out. Because now I don't know what's keeping it on. This iron wire is really in the way. Yeah, the fun will only begin once this port comes off. My guess is it's that one or more of these little ones. That one's free. That one's free. That one's free. That one's free. Can't tell. These are really small. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm checking the small ones. That's free. That one's not. That one might not be. That one might not be. Only one way to find out, and that's to use the solder sucker again, and then wait and see. We got another 50 minutes, so there's a lot of work we could still do. But yes, I have been live for almost an hour, and I've yet to make it past step 1. My phone battery is also getting pretty low, so I need to figure out a way here while I'm waiting for this to heat up to plug it in. The cable's not going to reach. It's so close to reaching. If I lower my stand a little bit, it'll reach. Wow. Hang tight. Hey, that actually helped the focus. I'm running this off a power strip, but there we go. It's plugged in now. Now I have yet another cable that's in the way. Check that out though, now it's focused. And there's our connector. There's our stupid darn connector. Alright, so top left wasn't clear. I really needed a better light. This one wasn't. This one might not have been. To be honest, this part of the board's not looking too good now. It's definitely damaged. I'll bet some of these traces aren't going to even connect anymore. That might have even made it worse. I need to take a closer look at this. There's movement. It's definitely the small ones at this point, but which ones? I mean, that one doesn't look good. The real enemy here is not the serial port, it's my nose. It won't leave me alone. Lifted trace. We got ourselves a lifted trace here. The camera view's not picking it up. Hang on. It's still connected, I think, actually. And it's not going to focus well enough to see it, but... one of these traces is right off the board. Fortunately, that's just how this might go. It's broken now, it's too thin. I see where it goes though. I don't care if this serial port works. I need it off. Yeah, it might just be one left. And if it is, I can heat it up and then get it right off the board. If that's the case. Yeah, because that one's free. I can't tell. That one might be free. That one's, I think, free. I mean, only one way to know. That's not good to have that close to the wire like that. You're not going to be able to see this. I just need to focus here. Melted. Nope. Hang on a second. That's a good point. I do have a hot air station. It's right off screen. The problem is there's two little plastic... Those aren't melted in place, are they? That could be part of the issue. There's two plastic pegs here, though. And they'd just melt. They'd melt right up. The pins aren't even exposed, or I try to pull them out from the other side. No, it's not the port. I mean, there's the port on the board. The problem is there's two, like, guiding black plastic pegs that are, like, I'm assuming to hold it in place while it's being soldered. The reason I have to do this is because I need to be able to solder these rows, and I have 0 clearance, so that's unfortunate. I mean, the only thing I can think of is to go back and do more with the hot air, but it's just like, the board's already been stressed a lot from this, so, I mean, it's difficult. I have to just make a decision. I mean, my decision is I care about the computer working more than I do about the serial port working, so I'm going to do what it takes to get this off. And that right now is going to be to resolder this one pin that's being troublesome. Go back with the desoldering pump and go over it again. And if that damages it further, then so be it. But I don't want to melt this plastic. And it's not that I don't care about it's not that I care about the plastic. I just don't want a bunch of melted plastic fumes all over the place. I think we're close, though. I don't think we're that far away from getting this off. Funny, I feel like the parts of soldering that people hate the most are surface mount for the most part. But I love surface mount soldering. It's way better than this. This is why I hate through-hole soldering with a passion. A fiery passion. Yeah, it's fine. You don't have to recommend anything else. I don't think there's much I can do other than keep going at it. Pin, man. I think it's freed. Yeah, it's free. That one pin is free. Yeah, you like through-hole soldering better? I get it. It's just every time I try through-hole soldering, this happens. There's something holding up still. I'm trying to see which pin it is. So when I rock it back and forth, stuff is now moving back and forth. Resoldering surface mount? Yeah, I mean, when you get into things where there are a lot of pins, then yeah. The most difficult surface mount repair I've done was replacing the analog devices, as I now know it actually is. I thought it was an Atmel chip, but no, it's analog devices, ADP 3421, which is a chip on the T20 series ThinkPads. And it failed on my T21. And it was a tiny itty-bitty surface mount chip, and I managed to get it fixed. That ThinkPad works now, and I'm shocked that I managed to pull that off. Hey, I did it. It wasn't easy. Come on. Come free. What goes wrong with the SGI stuff? I genuinely don't really know. Power supply failures. Anything and everything. Sounds fun. I hear they're also very expensive. Seems like and then when you get them running, you run like a few fun pieces of enterprise software. And I mean, what else can you do with one of them? Someone ported Quake to them, I know that. Which one of these pins is it? Not that one. That one's good. It's this one. No. 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 Is it this one? Is it this one? No. Oh, is this one still not free? Now it is. Oh, I know which pin it is. And it's the one that the board is a mess all around. might just twist method this sucker right off. It's so close to coming off. It's rocking back and forth all over the place. You can't see, but it is. Insert a that's not a bad idea. I'm currently doing that, but with pliers. I think we're about to be home free. At great consequence to this area of the board, maybe, but we're about to be home free. Oh, you suck. Oh. No. Hello, player gamer. I got the stupid port out. I don't know if you just dropped in, but I have been trying to pull this serial port off this board for the past hour and a half. Now, there was a consequence. I think I might have ripped one of the pins right out. Yeah, that broke. Yeah, this could have gone better. This serial port, you know, as long as the computer posts without the serial port literally installed. Because I mean, here's the thing. I caved in the port. It's not good. I'm trying to get a closer look myself. Pads were ripped. Let's just say pads were ripped. If I was smart, I would have taken a photo of where everything went. But I think I can figure that out on my own. The serial port working isn't a huge priority for me, though. I'm taking a look at the port itself. Yeah, one of the pins here, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, one of these got ripped out of the port. So we may have the casualty now of the serial and PCMCA not working. I probably could have prevented that if I worked a bit harder on the You broke 18 pins on a chip on your Xbox. Ouch. What, is it an original Xbox? Did you try to declock capacitor it? That's fine though. If it's just bridged, you should be able to fix that with a little bit of desoldering braid. So there's our board. There's the area, and I ripped out multiple of the, I guess, would you call those? Really, I guess pads or vias. maybe, and then they go through the board. The through-hole solder joints. A couple of those have been ripped. I can budge those. Failed RAM upgrade. Yeah, it should be salvageable. I did a similar thing. I tried to reflow the RAM slots on my ThinkPad T30 and bridged some crap. I think it's still screwed up. One of the RAM slots does not work, but that's alright. The other one does. 360. Cool booter chip. Yeah. I'm about out of solder wick too. But now, okay. So finally I can get started on the top of the board. At least for a little while. I have to leave at 10. So, player gamer, since you dropped in, I'll give a quick talk about what I'm doing. This is a laptop, a CTX EzBook 800, as in the title. And the clock battery leaked. It was right here. It was a soldered Varda battery, and it leaked and corroded this connector off enough that it fell off the board when I was investigating it. So I need to get this connector resoldered. So there's 6 bad solder joints, which is fun. Now, I'm trying to decide. What I'm gonna do first of all is I'm gonna plug an iPhone in because I need a. Well, no, I might be able to get creative here. Let's see if I can. I need light. Is the point here? This magnifier is gonna be fun to deal with. So basically, I bought extremely thin wire in order to be able to solder bodge wires that don't interfere with the chip's fitment at all. I wouldn't call myself a. Best way to describe my soldering ability is better than a novice, worse than a professional. I'm not great. Definitely amateur. I mean, I couldn't get a serial port off this board without ripping a pad. Ripping multiple pads. But it's fine. I don't care about the serial working. So one concern here, and this is real. Yep, learn every day. One concern here is LN1 labeled. I have no idea what these are, and there are some pins that might be broken on LN1. I don't know what LN1 is. I don't know if it's still connected. You know, and I think it's okay, actually. I think I can probably save that with some soldering. Might have to remove it. But the point is, whatever this is, whatever LN is, and there are 4 of these, I've never seen these on any other board ever. No one on the VCF forums knows what they are. They buzz straight through with a multimeter. Leftmost pin here, leftmost pin on the other side, continuity. But they have to be doing something. It's been said maybe inductor network, because L is usually used for inductors and N is usually meaning network. Like RP3 here is a resistor pack, and other places on this board this is called RN, like resistor network, same sort of idea. But like I couldn't find anything that looked like these. So I've got no clue what these are, and I have to salvage this one that's corroded. Because well, I can ignore the couple bad traces that go into the PCMCIA slot connector here. I can't ignore this, because this goes right into this interconnect board connector. So, for the actual bodges, a few of them go underneath this connector. The rightmost bad pad goes to a via under the connector. I need to solder a tiny bodge there. The one second rightmost goes to a via under the connector. The next one over appears like it might be no connect, but I have to dig up the solder mask a bit to see. The next one over
goes to a trace that's coming out of the connector. And I buzz that out to another
trace in a different area of the board, so I'm going to bodge there.
The next one over also goes... no, that one goes to a via. That one goes to a via under the board. I mean, under the connector. The next one over goes to a via and a trace. So...
God, this is gonna be a pain. You know what I might do? I might phone it in for tonight, I think I'm gonna have to, because I need to swap out my iron tip for my thin one, and my iron's gonna take like 15 minutes to cool down. So I think for tonight I'm probably going to end stream, and I'll be back tomorrow probably to start on this next thing. I think that would be best course from here. Yeah, one of my thin ones died. It's like burned itself out. So I might need to... what I need to do is I need to get a new iron that's better than the one I have. Mine isn't bad, but it's not great. I think it was like a $50 iron. I need to get a proper one that's... well, this is proper. But one that transfers heat better. Yeah. Chapter 1. An hour and a half of watching someone fight with a serial port only to break the connections for it.
I hope it'll post without a serial port installed. It probably will.
I mean, who needed a serial port anyway, right? Whoever needed... yeah, I don't think any of mine are copper. Would they look copper? Would they plate them in something? I don't know. So, yeah. I mean, we could take a quick tour over the capabilities of the system, I mean, ports-wise, before we finish off. So, welcome to Live Vintage Laptop Review. PS2 on this side. Over here would be your PCMCIA slots, but those are never going to work on this again because the chip's bad. On the back, we have... that's a modem. That's a modem built in. Composite. One of these is composite out and the other's composite in. This thing, I don't know what this is. Maybe a docking connector? Probably. No, not a docking connector. I'm stupid. Maybe that's SCSI, although I don't see an obvious SCSI chip on the back. There was nothing ever here. Just ignore that. Parallel. There's the docking connector. The other composite. There's two USBs, and then on the right, on the left, we have the power jack, VGA, and a game port, a joystick port, which is pretty rare to see. You see those on a lot of desktops. And then, of course, you got your external IDE. You think so? I've never seen that. Maybe it's labeled on the case. I can go look. And then here we got this maze of expansion ports here. There could be either a floppy drive or a battery in the left, and either a CD-ROM or a battery in the right. But you can't put the CD-ROM in the left, and you can't put the floppy in the right. So, yeah, let me see what the case says, and then I'll end stream. It's unlabeled. Whatever that is unlabeled. So, who knows? CSX uses X. Oh, well. No, that's well the modular bay, which is pretty just IDE, I'm sure. They all look a bit different, though. I mean, maybe the thing is, this doesn't have any reason to have an external drive cage. It's not like a sub notebook. This thing's pretty big, and it has plenty of internal room for drives. I mean, look, it's got 2 whole bays of space taken up, but yeah. I'm gonna end things now, though, for the day, and I'll be back tomorrow. How nice of them, though, by the way, to label all of the different jumper switch positions and what they do for which speed. Like, this is all really well documented. Debug? That doesn't make sense. Why would they just put that on the back? Like that. The manual... You know what? Never mind. I'm not ending the stream yet. We're going to go check the manual, because I have the manual for this. It's not covered up. There's definitely a opening. Let's check the manual. There we go. User manual. It's a bit worse for wear, but it's all here. Alright, so I'm just going to look and see what chapter I should go to. Introducing the notebook. I guess we'll go there first. This I'm guessing this got wet at some point, this manual, because it's all wavy. But where'd you find that info? Congratulations on your purchase of the notebook computer. That's definitely not boilerplate. WordPress. Oh, yeah, there's that one Linux blog post. Someone ran Linux on this back in like 2014. Okay, I want ports. Oh, here we go. 26-pin connector for external floppy disk drive. Okay, so yeah, that was a floppy. That's interesting. So that's a floppy port. I guess. Well, why would they do that? Because, I mean, it has a whole bay just for a floppy drive or a battery. I mean, the only reason you would want that externally is if you had... Oh, you know what it is? You know what I'll bet it is? I'll bet it's if you need a CD-ROM in the right side, because the CD can only go on the right side, a battery in the left, and you need a floppy drive all at once. That's probably why that's there. That's a very niche use case. I mean, that's only... I mean, when installing Windows, you need both at once, so you wouldn't need a battery when installing Windows. Well, whatever the case, I don't have the connector to interface the floppy drive module with the connector on the back. No, I don't think. I definitely don't. This is 1998. They wouldn't have had an option for a 5 1/4 inch drive. I definitely don't think that's it. Just because it's too new. It's a very interesting laptop, though. It's a shame that they're all going to have this fate. I'm annoyed. There was one on eBay there was one on eBay that I wanted to buy that was cheap. It was like $40, untested, but maybe its board would have been in better condition. But right before I was gonna go and buy it, the seller gave up trying to sell it, and I messaged them to say, "Hey, is this still available? If you put it back up, I'll buy it right away." And I never got a reply back. So I'm still awaiting a potential parts unit. But oh well. Anyway, now it's really time to end. So thank you all for coming by. I'll be live at some point tomorrow, maybe, probably in the evening again, to work on this and try to bodge this together. So, see y'all next time. I had the same happen with some kind of machine I bought. Yeah, I mean, I'm not... yes, I am live, and I'm about to end stream. I'm sorry. You came at the wrong time. I'm having a shorter stream today. I'll be live again tomorrow, though. So, probably. I don't want to commit to anything, but I'll probably be live tomorrow. So, yeah, to work on this board more. So, I'll see you from then. 5, 4, 3, 2...